Yeah, so I thought I'd drill down a little deeper on my reference to the concept of a cutting jig. Okay, so I've drawn one here, and all these fine lines here are obviously blades, and you'll see here the curvature of the vase. I put the handles in this time as well, and so if that was pushed forward equally into the rough core as it was spun, then you would get precision curve on that vase. Now I did say, and where my thoughts were going initially was perhaps these were finely rolled copper sheets. I think there could be a durability issue with that. So what I've done here is I'm demonstrating how this could be made from granite. So you'll see here you've got solid sides, you've got a solid surround, and then effectively this is like a comb with each sharp point of the comb reflecting the template of the vase. So all they would have to do is actually just draw what curvature of the vase they wanted. Then they would just have to cut their shape out and then make cuts back, and that would form like a bladed comb in granite. I had some further thoughts on that and a little bit of development of that thinking. So that's a close-up of what I'm saying, as in just making saw cuts back into the face, and obviously then you've got positive negative details, and that effectively makes like a comb of grinding blades. I looked at that and I just I could see teeth possibly snapping, and there being issues with that. So I thought a little bit further, and I thought, well, what if they were doing something like this? What if they were actually doing very small core cuts, like semicircles? So you had a circular relief, then you had a gap, and the next circular relief. And these gaps between the circles actually being your grinding surfaces. So it could have been either. And this is where we, don't know. I'm just trying to draw things out to logical conclusions or logical hypothesis, really. So I took this one and developed that thinking a little further. And I'll just move the paper. I thought, so how would they do that? How would they really achieve that? So, I've drawn the curvature of the vase here on this block of granite. And then I've put small circles all the way along. Now this is free-handed, but those circles obviously are center on their curve. So you do a series of these small quill drills all the way down, and then you would cut through here along the line of the curvature you required, and I think that's where most likely they would have used a cutting rope, and I think there was some good theory coming out of the bedbug guy as far as they could have cutting rope or cutting string, which was embedded with cutting compound dust, which could be fixed in there with ancient adhesive. And they did have very good adhesives when making their bows, for bow and arrow. So there is a practical outworking of how they could make a cutting jig out of one block of granite. Now the beauty of that is tolerances. If they were sliding this forward into a lathe, but this granite face here and the underneath were tight in another block of granite, then you would have no movement. And that could basically guarantee, perhaps with a little bit of lubricant, guarantee that that jig was being moved into the rotating rough core that's on the lathe, you know, with very, very fine tolerances. So there's my thinking on that. I thought I'd expand a little bit further. You know, there's been some pretty cool research out there, Uncharted X and Ben, you know, particularly. So, you know, looking at what's coming out of that research as well, as far as no copper has been detected so far on these dynastic vases, when they've been doing light scanning and other scientific measurements. So, you know, I take that on board. You know, they have had some iron, some zinc, some titanium, etc. So, you know, perhaps at some point they moved away from using a granite block. Once you've actually got this shape, if you go into smeltering, you could then make that out of any material, metal material that you could smelter, and of course perhaps you'd be looking at ones with higher density. Although, just to demonstrate concept, at this stage I'm going to continue just in the line of thought that this was solid granite for now, as like grinds like. So a little bit of a long video, but I'll leave you with that thinking, and we'll see you on the next one.